and he had just got to the island right before Pirates Week 2 years ago. And so when I was out there, I was like, I'm going to catch him right now.
Yeah.
Sound like his first kind of cultural, is this his first time, right?
Yeah.
And I was able to get him on air live and ask him, so tell me the truth. How was this cake?
Yeah.
Like, this is the best cake yet. Like, was this better than other cakes you've had?
Yeah.
And he had to go live on air and say, yes, East End had the best.
They'll find you.
I felt bad. But he said afterwards, other district people started calling him.
Of course.
To give him this cake.
Yeah. So that was
My
he just wanted free
I'm
cake.
telling you.
He just wanted free cake.
Well,
It works
guys,
well.
maybe I should say who district do the best, and then you can come find me and bring me the cake to like prove which one's better.
No, we can't start.
No.
We
That's
only have,
dangerous,
like, a couple more
Ivana.
minutes. That's
Okay.
that's a whole segment on its
Well,
own.
hold on. If Wendy was able to put out her
No, see how
response-
you're instigating
I
them.
have
Two
to-
of the tellers. You see, they're gonna come for Gimme Story now and be like, "I heard all the Gimme Story tellers tell me."
Isn't this what this is about? Bigging up Gimme Stories? So here we are.
There's good marketing and then there's bad marketing.
Ray, you are good at what you do,
I
sir.
like, a little push here. We just had this major election in the U.S.
Yeah,
True.
Yeah.
This is a good election. This is a good vote.
The vote for the best cassava.
So who makes the best? Because let's have less here.
I'm gonna go with the advice upon the side of me and not rival down in that. But please note that I will be given this gimme story at each night, and if you feel free in your heart, compelled
Yes.
to bring out a piece for me to taste,
Yes.
you do that.
I'm putting myself out there because I
You
want to
do
taste
that.
everybody else's too. If
No,
it's
you
better
don't
than
count.
mine.
You already said
Hello, I want to
yours.
see if it's better than mine, Mom. That's not fair.
Nobody's gonna bring you cake.
I'm a truthful person.
Nobody's gonna bring you
Nobody's
cake.
gonna
My
want you to
gosh.
that. Nobody's gonna want you to compare theirs to
All
yours.
right. Before I get anybody in any trouble, nobody's gonna bring you any cake. Let's quickly run down. So,
Yeah.
Pirates Week kick off tomorrow. We do have, as Patrice said earlier in the show, the float motorcade is taking the place of our usual float parade in town. The float motorcade, will be starting in West Bay. It will touch the entire platform of Grand Cayman, finishing off in town. We have the cardboard boat regatta at 1 p.m.
Yep.
3 p.m. the festivities kind of kick off with the exhibit and the food festival. Sorry, 3:30 pre-landing. Radio Cayman will be covering a good portion of the day's activities tomorrow from 3 until 6 p.m. At 3:30 we have the pre-landing. 4:30 we have the Pirates taking Georgetown again,
Yeah.
which will be awesome.
Landing.
Always fun. 6 p.m. live music. 7 p.m. drone show. 7:15 Swanky. and
Hold on,
Fat
hold
Five.
on. 7 o'clock. Give me a story.
No, that's
No,
not
no, like here. Yeah, this next week. Sorry. My
Yes,
bad.
no, yeah, okay. Woo. Having scared that.
Sorry, buddy.
No, it's all good. So 7 p.m. drone show. 7:15 we have our beloved Swanky and Fab Five kicking off. And then next week,
Yes.
Yeah.
starting on Monday, we have Georgetown Heritage Day. Tuesday, Northside. Wednesday, East End. Thursday, West Bay. Friday, Bottom Town. And just jump over to Pirates Week's website, piratesweek.com.
Yeah,
That's
that's
right.
correct.
And you can get all of this,
Yeah.
all this information. So definitely go on, check it out. And we'll see you at some of the activities over the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ladies, thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Enjoy. I'm disappointed you didn't share your cassava cake. I'm not going to lie. On that note, let's take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we have UCCI in house to talk about. I love this. Kimangan recipes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So stick around for another one because that's going to be another big fight. Back with more talk today, right after this.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
From 8th to the 30th of November, the Pirates Week Festival will embark on a 3-week journey under the theme of setting sail through time. Join us for a host of free activities for all to enjoy. Immerse yourself in pirate folklore, journey to each district day, and celebrate Caymanian culture while you connect with friends new and old. For more information on events and activities, please visit piratesweek.com. Brought to you by the Ministry of Border Control, Labor and Culture.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN money transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Boddentown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Boddentown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Step into Winner Circle Sports to explore fresh arrivals. Choose from the newest lineup of Adidas, Nike, Vans, Converse, On Running, and Jordan. Whether you're gearing up for the weekend with friends in graphic tees, Nike shorts, Nike slippers, prepping for a marathon season with Garmin watch, Asics running shoes, and plush Balega socks, or maybe getting a head start on the holiday shopping with new Jordan retros, shorts, slides, and socks. Winner Circle has you covered. Make Winner Circles your go-to for the latest footwear, apparel, and accessories at unbeatable prices. Find us at 12 Walkers Road. Winner Circle Sports, always a step ahead.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
And welcome back to Talk Today. I'm Raymond Singh, filling in for Mr. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. Big thank you to the Pirates Week and Give Me Story teams that were on the show earlier today, and to our Deputy Premier, Mr. Kenneth Bryan, who's over in Little Cayman, doing assessments of the Sister Islands today from a recent damage. And thank you for him for calling in to give us an update of where the cleanup efforts are. Now I'm actually really excited to have in the studio 4 guests from UCCI. Now we have UCCI on the show on a regular basis, but this one really struck that fun chord when I saw the request to come on the show. So I want to introduce, we have Miss Susan Young, Miss Naomi Archer, Mr. Walter Carmola, my apologies, thank you, and Miss Karina. Your last name was?
James.
Miss Karina James. Thank you so much for coming on. I love this topic. So Miss Susan, what are we here to talk about? Because I really love this one.
All right. Well, thank you for having us. I'm a professor at UCCI. I'm a professor at UCCI. I'm in the social science department. And the 3 students I have here, they are social science majors. And we are here, thanks for having us, because this came out of a class discussion. And I teach sociology, I teach various political science classes, and one of the topics we touched on was culture and the evolving nature of culture. And part of culture is food, and we started talking about Caymanian cuisine, traditional Caymanian foods, and from discussions, your previous group, you talked about the best cassava cake.
Do you have an opinion on this one?
Well, here's the thing, right? When we talked about culture in the class, and we talked about symbols, symbols make up culture. We're used to hearing about cassava cake. We are used to hearing about turtle stew. Nothing wrong with them. But there were other dishes that Caymanian families made. And one student said, corned beef soup. Everyone paused. We were like, corned beef soup? We've never heard of corned beef soup. And it started a wider discussion about Caymanian history and what we see as typical Caymanian cuisine. So I brought this discussion up with other classes in terms of, okay, well, this student said this is a family recipe. So we started talking about what is the common dialogue around Caymanian cuisine, or what is traditional Caymanian dishes, and we started to pull out different recipes that are not part of that dialogue.
I love that.
Right? And so the students, I have to pick on Naomi. She was like, Miss Corned Beef Soup.
Were you the corned beef soup?
I wasn't the person that first talked about it, but I was the person that found the recipe with one of my family members.
But
So you found it within your family?
Mm-hmm, I did.
Oh, I love that.
So we started the dialogue about what are norms and traditions that used to happen that are not part of present day conversations. And so then I saw the notice for district days. They were bringing back district days for Pirates Week.
Yep.
And there was a call for vendors. And before I put it to the class, I said, I sent an email to the Pirates Week committee. I said, hey, I have this idea, informational booth. And they were like, yes, So they offered us a spot, brought it to the class. I said, what did I say, guys?
So essentially, she asked us, would we like to do a 10-page paper on what we've learned this semester, or would we like to do a booth? And the majority picked the booth.
Did anybody actually pick the paper?
I think like one person picked the paper.
Yeah, one person. Because I remember she said, raise your hand if you would like to do the 10-page essay. And I know my hand went lower than above. I said, I would not want to do no 10-page essay. But I know my hand went straight as an hour when she said, we can do a booth at Georgetown Heritage Day.
It's really awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I'm always trying to find ways to connect learning.
But I love that because nobody wanted to, you didn't even want to read the papers, let alone have them write the paper. You wouldn't have wanted to read the papers.
Well, it's interesting. They come with interest in stuff.
I mean, generally speaking.
Yes.
No one wants to really read a 10-page essay. Do you?
I can't go on record. No comment.
But I mean, as far as like, this is an interactive way of culture, research.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to go back and actually beg family members
Yeah.
to look through their archives to find the corned beef soup recipe.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
You see, the thing is with a lot of these recipes, they like hit within specific families. So a lot of people don't like to bring them up. A lot of people don't like to bring them up because they like to, excuse my language, they like to gatekeep their recipes. So like you wouldn't necessarily know about certain recipes. Like for instance, corned beef soup, and there was another one that was very interesting called conch pudding. Like you wouldn't necessarily.
Conch pudding.
Yes, sir.
Now, is this an actual, like, because pudding has been used in, like, we have a term called black pudding
Mm-hmm.
for a type of,
Mhm.
it's not pudding though. So what is conch pudding?
Essentially, it is. How do I explain this? It's. I haven't tasted it, but from what I know, it's sweet, but it's not sweet and salty a little bit because
Is it like a candy or is it actually pudding?
It's actually a pudding. I haven't
made
seen
with
it.
conch.
Yes, sir.
Well, with Walter, he heard of it through his family, so
Okay.
he know that family members made it. We have a student. She's not with us, Renaya Smith. She actually interviewed a gentleman. I hope I have his name correctly, Hubert McLaughlin, and he gave her a recipe, conch pudding. So when I saw that one, I'm like, I had never heard of conch pudding. And there's one or two bits of information missing from it. But one of the parts of the assignment is they were also to find out the significance. Is it a family recipe passed down from generation to generation? Was it a dish that was eaten on certain occasions? And Mr. McLaughlin wrote that with conch pudding, it was labor intensive. It included conch, cassava, grated cassava, and then various seasonings. And he talked about the fact that it was, they made it at the end of cassava harvest or whenever they harvested cassava, or certain special occasions. So the men would bring in the cassava, they put the children to grate the cassava, and then I guess the woman came together to put the recipe together. There are bits and pieces missing, so we may still have to go and interview him some more.
Sure.
In terms of, he talked about wrapping it in banana leaves,
Okay.
but not sure if it's a big dish or is it individual
Interesting.
portions, right?
Were there, yeah.
So that's a interesting recipe that
Yeah.
we've come across.
I love that one.
As well.
Were there any beverages in the recipes out there or any other?
I feel as though, because like the only one that's really known for the Cayman Islands is Swanky, and Swanky, I remember in one of my other classes, Caymanian Society, we were talking about with just like talking about bringing back civil oranges like to the public and being easier accessible, so that it was easier to make it and it wasn't like a big deal for people to like bring it to district days and people like fight over it. So we haven't had any like actual drinks come in, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think we had any recipes come in terms of drinks. It's been more, again, these family recipes, even going back to the corned beef soup. I've had some individuals say, I've never heard of it. And then certain families, I have two individuals in our admissions office. And one person grew up in Georgetown, said, I've never had corned beef soup. But then I spoke to someone else who grew up in West Bay, and she was like, oh, I know corned beef soup.
That was my next question was, was it a territorial kind of scenario where you're seeing some dishes from East End that may not have cropped up in West Bay or may not be in the Sister Islands? Or
Yes, actually, because there was one too. What was it? You said it this morning. It's it's the cake. It was another cake one.
Oh, coconut. Was it the coconut cake?
I've never heard of that from East to Bon Town. I've never heard of that. And then I had a friend from West just now who I asked about it. And he's like, yeah, I've heard of that. And I was like, bruh, I couldn't.
So it's coconut cake.
Yeah, coconut cake.
Like a dessert, okay.
I have no idea how it's made though.
All right.
Yes. So I'll just mention a few names. I have to be thankful. So the booth on Monday, it will be manned by the students. So it's an informational booth. We will do our best to decorate it nicely. We will be handing out recipes that we've been given by these individuals, but we'll also have samples.
So you actually made some of the recipes?
No, we didn't make. Well, we have people make in some of the recipes.
Yep.
So I have to be thankful, Mr. Donnie Dixon, Adelaide Kitchen. He will be making a heavy cake most people are not familiar with, papaya heavy cake.
Really?
Yes.
Was this from a recipe that he had, or is this?
Well, I became familiar with papaya cake because Mr. Donnie makes it every year and sells it at the agricultural show. But it is not a commonly known heavy cake.
I have never heard, and I'm at the show every year. I don't know how I've missed this.
I go looking, he sees me. When I am at the show, I come asking for that papaya cake.
Interesting.
Mr. Alvin McLaughlin, he will be doing macaroni cake, a heavy cake made from macaroni. People have said, oh, I haven't had that one in years.
Okay.
And then Miss Zelma Lee Ebanks from Northside, she will be doing the coconut cake. So they will be providing us, we'll be offering small samples. Yep. Just so people can at least have an idea of what they taste like. Plus providing recipes that we've been given, not necessarily of some of the cakes, but again, the conch pudding. Yes, we do have the papaya cake recipe. What are some of the others?
What are some of the other ones?
Oh, corned beef soup from Naomi's family.
The coconut cake one. Do we have that one or no?
No. I don't.
Okay.
We'll have the samples.
It's a lot of cakes.
Karina, you want to talk about your family recipe?
Yes. There was actually quite a lot of recipes, but the one my grandmother talked about was the light flour dumplings, or they're called clouds. I've actually had them a lot in my childhood. She made them with fish rundown or salt beef rundown, or sometimes when she made them with fish rundown, I would take just the gravy and just dip it with the gravy and eat it just like that.
Yeah.
They actually kind of look like clouds. They're pretty big dumplings. And they're just made with flour, baking soda. What else? Well, the ones I know of is flour, baking soda, water. It's a pretty and salt. It's a pretty just a starchy dish.
So the difference with her recipe is we're so used to flour dumplings that you like drop into soup, but her grandmother, you let the dough rest, and then you place the dough on top of the stew. So the dough, you knead your dough, you let it rest for an hour, and then you place pieces of it on top of the stew. So it's actually not cooking in the stew, it's actually on top of it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So these nuances that
art
come
in
out.
itself, I love it.
Yeah.
We have 2 other messages that came in through WhatsApp. Let's go to a quick commercial break, and we come back and we'll go to these 2 questions about other recipes.
Okay.
Back with more talk today, right after this. So
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Protect your computers and mobile devices with security software to defend against cyber attacks through viruses, malware, and other online threats. Be aware of unsecure Wi-Fi connections when in public. If you need to access your online banking or sensitive information on your mobile devices, try disabling the Wi-Fi and switching to data from your mobile network. If you suspect a fraud attempt, please contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Freedom, Cayman Brack. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Fall into savings at Brand Source Home Gallery with their 54th anniversary sale. Enjoy store-wide savings on brands like Monogram, Cafe, Fisher & Paykel, Samsung, LG, GE, Beko, Uline, Foster, Thor, Elica, and more. Get from 15% up to 40% off on premium appliances. Transform your bathroom with savings on Duravit, Toto, Moen, Palazzani, Badenhaus, and more. And don't miss out on 20% off cabinets and custom closets just in time for the holidays. Come celebrate the 54th anniversary with a store-wide sale at Brand Source Home Gallery. Now through November 16th. Located on Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park. Or call 623-5000 for details.
We were set to battle, and your Aunt Angie was leading the pack when...
Aunt Angie, what does this have to do with car damage?
Oh, right. Well, long story long. I took down the assassins and wound up inventing a new form of mixed martial arts. I became an international champion until one sore loser karate kicked my car. But I was covered with CG.
Covered for malicious damage and more. CG Brit K. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
Reflections annual countdown to Christmas sale is on now. Ladies, save 50 to 75% off selected fashion clothing, selected Adidas, Puma, and Nike sneakers discounted from 25 to 50% off. Make your gift giving super easy this year by getting Reflections gift certificates for everyone on your list. Converse kicks starting at $25 and bargains galore throughout the store. Guys, cargo pants, big and tall, $5.50. Levi's and selected Docker pants, 25% off. Every purchase above $49 at Reflections gives you the opportunity to win 2 free tickets to any Cayman Airways destination of your choice. Open Monday to Thursday, 9 a.m. till 8 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 9 a.m. until 9 p.m. Shop Reflections on Shen Road beside the Mango Tree.
See yourself in Reflections.
Reflections, always driving down prices.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
And welcome back to Talk Today. I'm Ray Singh, filling in for Mr. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. Just about 6 or 7 more minutes left in this segment. With UCCI, we have in the studio Miss Susan Young, Miss Naomi Archer, Mr. Walter Kamola, and Miss, did I say that right?
Yes.
And Miss Karina James. And here talking about Caymanian foods, but recipes that may have been forgotten over time or just not as popular and common as when we go to our Heritage Days and we see the usual menu items. And we had a couple WhatsApp messages come in before the break, and I just want to read them out loud. Does anyone have a recipe for duff? Now, the first question I have is, I don't know what duff is. So what is duff?
So with duff, and I have to say this is why we need to have Heritage District Days and also the agricultural show. I came across duff at the agricultural show many years ago. And I saw it on a menu, and I walked up, and the lady shared with me that, hey, it's an old Caymanian recipe. I had never had it before then, and it's not part of the dialogue.
Yes.
Right? Some people are familiar with duff. I have a friend who, she grew up eating duff, but she wasn't sure if it was Caymanian or if it was from the Bay Islands. And I shared with her, I said, well, actually, a handful of people on the island know about it. So
that's
I
love that.
Still trying to track down a recipe for it.
Yeah.
There is a recipe in Miss Cleo's cookbook, but I have since come across several variations of it, but it seems to be pretty much a steamed dough in a cream sauce or a milk-based cream sauce. But the one time I have had it, it was awesome.
Yes.
It was just so nice. It's simple, but it was so nice.
I love it.
So I am still trying to track down a recipe. I found one online. There is one in Miss Cleo. But the one in her book didn't quite match what I had the first time. So one individual had said she had it in her family, so she's going to try and track down a recipe for
And that's what it comes with, like track. Another WhatsApp user wrote in and said, tamming drink would used to be made when they were ripe.
Mm-hmm.
And she also commented that the Miss Karina, your light flour dumplings that you mentioned, that it could be sound like you were describing what some of you would call sea pie, which I thought was a catchy way. And she also said that her family had also made corned beef stew back in the day. We do have one caller on the line. Good afternoon, caller. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling Talk Today. If I could just ask you to make it very quick because the guests have to leave in a few minutes.
Oh yeah, we just I'm glad to hear they're giving out Cayman recipes. Tell them maybe they can look. There's an other like a cake that they used to make called Nigger Bible. It's actually made from flour. I'm sure the older Caymanians would have an idea how it's made. Maybe you could check out that recipe and get that one into your list also.
That's great. I've heard it on the list here. And
thank you for that, caller. We actually do have that recipe. It's also in Miss Cleo's cookbook. A lot of people refer to her cookbook, but I have to say I shout out to the Honorable Makiva Bush because he actually submitted that recipe. But we are still trying to figure out how to present that in a presentable manner. But Most people are aware of it. They do know of it. None of us at the table have ever actually had it, but
Yeah.
it seems to be of a certain generation. They're very much aware of it.
Sure.
Sure.
I also wanted to do a quick shout out also to Mr. Dennison Tibbetts, president of the Seafarers Association. He actually did provide me several recipes as well. And he did tell me how traditional turtle stew is made.
All right.
Yes, just salt, pepper, and you don't add any water. You just let it cook down.
That's
Might-
it.
might need
Caller,
that
thank
one.
you so much. I do have to let you go here.
Okay, bye.
Thank you so much. All right, so guess we have we have about 2 minutes left in this segment. We actually got a comment that's come in. Pie is different from the cloud dumplings. Pie is a flour dough that has been stretched thin and dropped into the cooking pot. So I love this show. Like, we're getting the call, we're getting the feedback on the older school recipes that we didn't know about, right? I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So before we actually run out of time, because this is actually a really important one, I knew this was going to become a very popular topic. There's a lot of Canadians that want to hear the recipes out there. They want to hear the old recipes that haven't, or names of foods. If people want to submit their recipes to you or get involved in this project you're doing, how can they do so? Because I know the WhatsApp lines are blowing up here right now.
Well, they can send their recipes to my work email address at UCCI. It is syoung@ucci.edu.ky. It is SYOUNG@ucci.edu.ky. We will also be at the booth. We'll have our booth at Georgetown District Day on Monday. So if they would like to hand deliver or submit a recipe there, I'd be more than happy to. I just want to let the public know this is the students doing the work. So please be a bit forgiven, but they're actually the ones putting this together.
I think that's what makes this project that much more, because we have all these, the WhatsApp line is just blowing up right now, where they're seeing the next generation of young adult Canadians who are picking up that mantle.
Can I say something?
Please.
I feel like nowadays people are more lenient towards like making the recipes more known, because they have faded into history, because some of these I have not heard of.
Sure.
And I've been here for a long time, but I feel like people are more lenient now because they want to see it brought back. Because I remember a lot of my friends, like they were sad when District Day was gone, and now they brought it back.
They're back up.
And I
love
have
that.
to make one appeal.
Please, very quickly. Yes.
The young people have actually mentioned to me they want to know how to make the Cayman peppermint candy.
Yes.
And we are looking for a contact.
Oh, I think I can check that. I saw that get made last year at Red Sky Night. I thought it was really cool. The way it was mesmerizing how they kind of do it, right?
On the hook.
Really cool. Very, very, very quickly.
Yeah, because I miss just buying them at the gas station, like on the side. You just go in there, just buy some peppermint.
Yeah,
You can still
absolutely.
buy them at MacArthur's, like on
For real?
on the waterfront.
See, and this is the information we
The
get here.
dialogue.
See how this happened on radio, not on social media? Just let you all know. Happened by talking to people. Folks, honestly, this was a great segment. I wish I had done a longer segment for you, because time didn't permit today. But thank you all so much. Good luck with Monday. And please, if you're in the community, you want to share your recipe with this group, this is a fantastic project. I can see this project really just growing on a national level. I really honestly can. So thank you so much, and all the best. Have a great, safe, long weekend.
Thank you. Thank you for
both.
having us.
On that note, we're going to go to our 2 p.m. headline news. When we come back, we'll be sitting down with Dr. Jane Mendez from Baptist Health at the Miami Institute. More talk today right after this.
If they are talking about us,
Living in your head rent-free all this time.
we must be relevant. Radio Cayman since 1976. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market.
With a look at your latest headlines, I'm Jevi Ebanks. The RCIPS is advising the public of the following road closures, which will take place between 1 a.m. and 1 p.m. on Sunday the 10th of November to facilitate the Remembrance Day Parade. Seafarers Way will be closed between Shedden Road and 4th Street. However, access for public transport vehicles to the North Terminal will be permitted. Diversions for northbound traffic will be in place at Warwick Drive and Goring Avenue. Additionally, there will be a rolling closure on 4th Street from 10:30 a.m. to 10:40 a.m. and from approximately 12 p.m. to 12:15 p.m. In regional news, Barbados Prime Minister Mia Amor Motley aims to resume airlift connections between Barbados and Germany, Western Europe, and Scandinavia. She's hopeful that Honorary Consul Regina Sixt can use her business ties to help. They discussed a co-marketing deal with Sixt Car Rentals and ways to attract corporate business from Germany. Sixt invited Barbados to a convention in Copenhagen. They also talked about supporting the string project in primary schools and building a new convention center. Barbados and Germany have had diplomatic ties since March the 14th, 1967. G Mining Ventures Corporation, a Canadian mining company, aims to produce 350,000 ounces of gold annually when its US $1.5 billion Oko West project begins operation in Guyana in 2027. The project, located in Region 7, is expected to create at least 1,500 jobs and boost the local economy. The company plans to begin construction in the second quarter of 2025. G Mining Ventures has established a multi-stakeholder working group to foster collaboration and transparency and is working with government agencies to ensure successful implementation. That is your latest headlines. I'm Jevi Ebanks.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News. 36 world finalists from 12 countries, 3 winning teams, and 1 global competition. It's the 2024 Young Chef, Young Waiter, Young Mixologist World Finals. This November 22nd to 24th in Singapore, and the Cayman Islands is in the finals. Cayman's Young Chef Champion, Brittany Bodden, Young Waiter Champion, Steph McDermott, and Young Mixologist Champion, Cody Wright, will be competing for the ultimate prize of $15,000. Join us in cheering on our young professionals, tomorrow's leaders in hospitality and service, as they represent the Cayman Islands on the world stage. Supported by the Ministry of Planning, Agriculture, Housing, Infrastructure, Transport, and Development.
This holiday season, let Kirk Market do the roasting so you can do the hosting. Visit in-store or shop online and order your traditional family feast, complete with classic roasted turkey and ham, all the tasty sides and trimmings. Let the chefs at Kirk Market be your holiday helpers so you can spend less time in the kitchen. Order online at kirkmarket.ky or visit in-store today. And don't forget to visit the florist at Kirk Market to find the perfect centerpiece for your table. There's no place like Kirk Market for the holidays.
Radio Cayman Talk Today continues.
.9 Radio Cayman helps you to weather the storm during this hurricane season.
One of the most crucial elements of hurricane preparedness is storm awareness. During the season, it is of utmost importance to pay attention to the latest local weather forecasts, as hurricanes do not suddenly form or strike. There are various methods of advanced notification. Utilizing such may be the difference between a favorable outcome and disaster. Both television and radio serve as excellent mediums with up-to-the-minute storm path information in the wake of a hurricane. Another method of tracking a hurricane may be only arm's length away. Your smartphone or tablet can be your most valuable tool before, during, and after a storm, providing countless numbers of apps with crucial hurricane information. Many apps allow you to track storms with moving radar and satellite imagery, plus offer alerts, current conditions, forecasts, advisories, and even video.
This hurricane preparedness tip was brought to you by your community radio station, Radio Cayman 89.9 FM.
Radio Cayman Talk Today continues.
And welcome back to Talk Today. This is Ray Singh filling in for Mr. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. Unfortunately, our next guest has been delayed, but thankfully that affords a bit more time for our guest from UCCI, since we did have this popular topic of the lost of Cayman recipes.
Or uncommon, yes.
Or uncommon, which I think is great. So let me read some of the messages that came in a bit earlier. So pie is different from the cloud dumplings. Pie is a flour dough that is being stretched thin and dropped in the cooking pot. That's what we had read before the break. Light dumplings or cloud dumplings are made with baking powder and floats on top of the cooking pot. So there we have, there is the clouds. The other message that came in was simply that they would love to buy this cookbook. And I think it's great. I think that you guys have hit on something that is, I could see the National Archives trying to step in, because this is stuff that's existed in Cayman that no one has documented or formally documented, right?
Well, I think there have been various interviews throughout the years. One young lady told me that she was going, a recipe, family recipe, the archives had interviewed her grandmother, so she knew it was in the interview, but she herself didn't have the recipe. But I think perhaps a more concerted effort to really talk about these dishes that are not part of that common dialogue.
Sure.
And to kind of bring them back to, you know, people's attention. Because if someone has moved here in the last 5 years and you ask them what Caymanian cuisine is, and again, heavy cake but cassava cake.
Yes.
But then I've learned from these individuals, heavy cake can be made from breadfruit, botla, crackers, Jamaican crackers, water crackers, what else, macaroni, cream of wheat, pretty much anything that they can make a heavy cake from.
I guess it makes sense, right?
Yes. Whatever was available. I also wanted to mention, you know, you talked about this cookbook.
I think you have one now.
We may end up with a cookbook, right? I also wanted to mention that for UCCI, we are also going to be introducing a new program next year in the fall, in August, and it will be a new cultural studies, associate's degree in cultural studies. So currently right now, the CNCF, I think there's dialogue from the National Gallery as well as the museum to put a degree together to teach young people who are interested in all things related to culture, how to study, how to put the theory, how to put it in practice, and just a recognition that, you know, we do need a program that goes in depth and looks at not just Caymanian culture, but even just the concept of culture in general.
Sure. Well, that's a very broad, the culture one, yeah.
I remember, I don't know if they still do this, but back when I was primary school, they used to bring in this guy named Mr. Christian. He used to teach us how to do, he used to make us watch him make the original peppermint candy and like toss it on the hook and stuff. And they would bring in swanky for us. I don't know if they still do it, but it was a nice experience because
he also taught us how to braid thatch. Yeah, and he'd bring in thatch hats and brooms and stuff like that as well. So I guess that's how I learned how to braid thatch, other than how to braid from my great grandmother.
Can you still braid thatch today?
Well, it's been so long.
It's been a minute. Yeah.
But if you brought it, maybe.
Have you ever been able to make the hats or the bags or?
I think we tried making bags.
I know that I did, but I did this at a summer camp. It was actually by the Hartwell Theater, and they brought in people to teach us how to thatch, and I made a bag. But if you asked me to do it now, I would probably look at you with like a blank stare.
See, it's one of those things. Like, I love that we have the thatchers who are still teaching the courses, but it's not something we do in everyday practice, right? And it's just one of those things that I love that we can still. I've got to figure this out. Like, how can we actually bring back this on a regular, where you're using the skill, not just learning the skill, right?
I feel because social media is such a big thing. We were talking about this like off the air. It's just how social media, like with the new generations, we're just more on social media. I think if they were to do videos and maybe post it to YouTube or Instagram or TikTok, we would probably see it more, and we would actually be able to like use it in everyday life. So if like older Caymanians were willing to teach us on like a video and then post it, I think everybody would really enjoy that.
Tell my son to go and do a video on bachelor
Well,
making.
I keep saying to the students, since they need to show me how to use TikTok. I'm still figuring out Instagram. They say I'm old because I'm on Facebook. Because no young person.
Apparently we're considered old for being on
Yeah.
Facebook. We had this conversation just yesterday, and I was told, yeah, you guys are old for being on.
You're not old. Y'all just.
We're seasoned.
Yeah.
We're just, we're not well done yet.
I feel like it's maybe like the earlier 2000s that were born to, like my sister and a couple of my cousins that are born, like, 2000 to 2004. They're on Facebook. I just never actually got a Facebook account because by the time I was ready to go on social media, it was not really appropriate for me to be on Facebook because nobody else I knew was on there except for family.
To be fair, I only have a Facebook account because I needed it for my console. That's the only reason I have one. But
That sounds like you.
That's
But they've actually expressed, quite a few of the young people, they want to learn. They don't want to just see how to make peppermint candy. They want to be involved.
You see,
in the
you see the thing is, I remember the process, but I can picture it, but I can't necessarily tell you how to do it. I remember you heat it. If I remember correctly, you heat it up, and then when it gets, you stick it on the hook, and when it gets stretchy, you I remember how to do it. It's just I can't put it into words. If you got it in front of me, I can do it.
I remember seeing it. Like I saw it at Red Sky at night when they had the hook, and it was Miss Christy, walked from next door, and she was one that was helping try to do it, and they were, you can see it, like it's this long, and then they would roll it out, cut it up into little bits, and then they bag it up, and you took it on your way, right? But there's a lot of those, there's a lot of those little, and Cayman cuisine, very similar to the rest of the Caribbean, it was all made from the land, right? Everything was really, back in the day, was just made from whatever you have. And a lot of the products throughout the Caribbean, they're shared. Mangoes are across the Caribbean, coconuts across the Caribbean, beef across the Caribbean. It was slight little variations of those dishes. Whatever seasoning that island had, they used versus whatever we had here, right?
Well, a common theme that came out from many of the interviews that the students did was the fact that there was a time where things weren't the island was not as prosperous.
Sure.
And so families had to make do with what they could find and what was available. And so that's where you see those little changes to recipes, a little bit of difference. Again, the conch pudding, which is not just conch. We're used to conch stew and conch fritters, but the conch pudding is actually grated cassava, using grated cassava. So you see a combination of two ingredients that you don't normally see together, right? A recipe came in, we didn't get to go into it. A recipe came in for corned turtle.
Like a corn and turtle stew?
Or it's a preserved turtle. I guess it was a way of...
Instead of like salting it? Like
yeah, salting it.
So corn was actually a preservative?
No, like we refer to corned beef because the process is preserving the beef.
I see.
They had a similar process to preserve turtle meat.
I see.
So like how you would, I actually figured this one out. Like how you could use honey to actually tenderize certain meats.
Sure.
Yeah, like at first, trust me, it's not. You wouldn't figure it out on your own. You would need to try other stuff. But honey is a good one. So I would assume it's something like that.
Yes, but with salt and turtle meat.
Interesting. All the new things we can find out this age, right? Off of social media, by the way. On that note, we do have to go to our 2:15 commercial break, and we just got to update. Our guest has arrived as well. Dr. Mendez is in the studio. Again, I love this project. I really hope to see it really come to fruition. I think our listeners do as well. So all the best with this, and let us know how we can assist you in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you. All the best. All right. Back more talk today right after this.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
The STEPS National Health Survey results indicate that the Cayman residents spent 50% more time in sedentary activity in 2023 than in 2012. The World Health Organization recommends 30 minutes of moderate to vigorous physical activity per day for adults. With Pirates Week around the corner, start today. Park a little further from the events and get a few more steps in. To learn more, log on to www.gov.ky/steps. Let's step into wellness together, Cayman.
This holiday season, let Kirk Market do the roasting so you can do the hosting. Visit in-store or shop online and order your traditional family feast, complete with classic roasted turkey and ham, all the tasty sides and trimmings. Let the chefs at Kirk Market be your holiday helpers so you can spend less time in the kitchen. Order online at kirkmarket.ky or visit in-store today. And don't forget to visit the florist at Kirk Market to find the perfect centerpiece for your table. There's no place like Kirk Market for the holidays.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter will be taking appointments November 4th to the 8th at his Crew Road Clinic. Appointment slots are limited whether you're seeking advanced skin care, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles. Dr. Wayne Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email Dr. Porter Cayman at gmail.com. That's drportercayman@gmail.com. Call 946-9020 to book your appointment today. That's 946-9020.
Water Authority Cayman wishes to advise its valued customers and the motoring public of wastewater infrastructure upgrade works along West Bay Road near King Tire Drive, opposite Treasure Island. Preliminary activities will take place on Tuesday, the 29th of October, with the main works beginning soon thereafter, weather permitting. This work is anticipated to continue for approximately 2 weeks. During this time, the southbound lane of the West Bay Road will be partially obstructed. However, the Water Authority Cayman and its contractors will maintain two-way traffic throughout. Traffic signs will be in place in the general vicinity of the works. All motorists are asked to drive with caution and follow all signs when in the area to ensure their own safety as well as the safety of the Water Authority and its contractor staff. The Water Authority appreciates the patience and understanding of its customers and the public as it upgrades its wastewater infrastructure and apologizes for any inconveniences caused.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
And welcome back to Talk Today. I'm Ray Singh filling in for Mr. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. We have a last segment of the show, very short segment, but very important segment, very important in this community. Dr. Jane Mendez, Chief of Breast Surgery for Baptist Health Miami Cancer Institute. It's a mouthful. Welcome to Talk Today.
Thank you for having me this afternoon.
No, thank you. And you're here for the right weekend. We have Pirates Week this weekend, right?
That's awesome. I'll be a pirate too.
Yeah, you should. So graduate from Harvard and New York, somewhere in New York.
Correct. Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer
That's right.
Center.
Yes,
correct.
That's right.
Yes.
Is this your first time to Cayman?
No, I've been here coming to Cayman for the past 7 years since I started working at Miami Cancer Institute. So it's been great to be able to impact the breast cancer community here in the Cayman Islands.
That's great. And so you're here for, you mentioned you're here with the Lions Club of Tropical Gardens tomorrow.
Correct. So they've been hosting this breast cancer survivors breakfast for a really long time, and we are one of the sponsors. So it's really great to see how every year there's more and more survivors in the crowd. This year, I think they're expecting almost 140, survivors. So it's really great to see. Given that certainly with breast cancer, the earlier you detect it, the more survivors we're going to have.
Sure.
So it's great to see that.
So with regards to, we talk about technology a lot on this show and how it's changing on a rapid pace. With regards to your field, how are you seeing those changes in the technology?
Yeah, so one of the main issues in breast cancer is what we call the multidisciplinary approach. I'm a surgeon, but I couldn't do my job without all the advances in medical oncology, in radiation oncology, and all the different clinical trials and obviously tools that we have so we can really cure the breast cancer. So I've been doing this for 30 years. So I've seen that incredible evolution to the extent that with tools like 3D mammography that we have now, if it's early detected, we expect 99% survival at 10 years. And we can do needle biopsies without even needing to take the patient to the operating room for a diagnosis. And we can use technology to help us see, does this patient benefit from chemo or no chemo? Such things as genetic profiling. So for me, as I've been doing this for such a long time, it's great to see the advances and how it impacts people's lives and how many more survivors we have because of all those technological changes.
It's wild to see like that level of 3D, I'm going to say
mammography.
Mammography, yes. Sorry. The nomenclature does get me sometimes. With regards to like how much that has actually changed the 3D models of everything, to see it now being applied in science and to be able to use that to actually 99%.
Correct.
Right.
And now, so that's the latest technology we have, but there's other technologies that are in research. And right now, we're looking at the application of AI, artificial intelligence, and how that's going to improve even further what we already have with 3D. So certainly we want to continue to see how we can predict with AI. Can we see changes even earlier before it really demonstrates as a true cancer on the mammogram so that we can continue to detect even at earlier stages. And that's also being applied to pathology.
So I guess that's really in the infancy stages right now.
Correct.
Do you see that coming to the forefront in the near future?
Absolutely. When it comes to its application in pathology as well as radiology, we already see the impact of some AI. When it comes to surgical treatment, not so much, but the foundation of what we do is dependent on those two things, early detection with mammography and pathological changes that also we can keep patients who are at higher risk with even closer monitoring. So we see some of the impacts of AI already within breast cancer.
Interesting. And for the listeners who are not aware, when you say the difference between pathological and the radiology side, what is that difference? Because so for our listeners who may not be fully aware of what you're actually referring to.
So certainly, so from the breast imaging standpoint is, right now we recommend having a mammogram, and so that's complemented with an ultrasound starting at age 40. And that way we know that early detection can lead to better results. So that's the gold standard for breast cancer screening. And then when it comes to pathology is having tissue that we can analyze under the microscope to help us figure out whether the patient has either a high-risk condition to breast cancer or has breast cancer.
Interesting.
Or has nothing, and
Or
it's a
nothing.
benign condition.
And so the 3D modeling is what you're seeing right now in the detection stages.
Absolutely.
Okay. And
Yes.
then the AI side of it
Yes.
is both in that side and
In the pathological
pathology
side.
side.
Correct. Why? Because with AI, when it pertains to mammogram, we're trying to see computerized patterns and training the eye of the radiologist. Could this pattern, that will be reflected by AI, help the radiologist kind of detect the breast cancer earlier? That's one example. And when it comes to pathology, they're going to review all these computerized patterns of cancers to try to also help the pathologists identify cancers even earlier. So that's the utility that we see right now. And with that, with other cancers as well.
Sure.
Because it has those multiple applications.
Sure, yeah. It's amazing to see how AI has really just taken us leaps and bounds. And I guess I'm constantly boggled by how advanced the science is right now and how fast it's changing. That really is how fast.
It is. And with that, the dissemination of that information to the public at large, like we're doing right now, so that people can really advocate for their health and go to places that really have the utmost technology that we have at Miami Cancer Institute. We have all the technology when it comes to radiation, all the expertise when it comes to the medical oncologists. We're specialists in each of the disease organ sites. So obviously we have 6 breast medical oncologists. The plastic surgeons will help make the women feel whole if they require a mastectomy. So it's that whole team of experts to really help the patient optimize their outcome.
Fantastic. Sorry, you do have what to say.
Yes, I would like Dr. Mendez to explain when a patient is diagnosed with cancer in the left breast and the correlation between cancer of the left breast and sometimes heart problems, and where the proton radiation therapy, unlike the standard radiation, is able to help the patient in that sense.
Yeah, so one of the technological advances, so radiation therapy is oftentimes used in breast cancer when the patient is preserving the breast so that we can sterilize the rest of the breast to avoid the cancer coming back to that same breast. So when it comes to left-sided breast cancers, we need to be concerned of the lungs that are underlying that breast in addition to the heart. So there's many different modalities or technologies that we can use to deliver that radiation treatment. And at Miami Cancer Institute, we're happy to have all the different technologies under one roof, one of them being the proton therapy. And the proton therapy is unique because you can really deliver it and really determine the depth of penetration to minimize any potential side effects to the heart. So some left-sided breast cancers, proton therapy is the one that is better for the patient, not all patients, but at least so that we can minimize what we call cardiotoxicity, which means damage to the heart.
Gotcha.
So it's an important application, and we have the ability to provide it to our patients if they had a left-sided breast cancer.
Interesting. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for the question. I appreciate that. Unfortunately, we are nearly out of time, but if the community wants to get in touch with you at Baptist Health or for more information about Baptist Health services, how can they get a hold of you?
Okay, Baptist Health International has a imaging center here on Smith Road, the Baptist Health International Cayman Islands office. And there you can contact Erica Jose or Alina Dawson, who is the technologist, or Rachel Jackson. And the phone number is 749-3304. That's the phone number to contact. Or you can stop by the Smith Center. It's right under the specialty clinic of the HSA on Smith Road, and you will see there this sign. It's a corner office for the Baptist Health International Cayman Islands Imaging Center.
Thank you so much. Dr. Mendez, any final words?
I think it's important to always individualize the therapy depending on what stage the breast cancer patient has, and to stress the importance to the women out in the community to know their body, to follow the screening guidelines. As I said, mammogram starting at age 40 and oftentimes complemented with ultrasound. And at the end of the day, certainly if you see something, do something, because we know that early detection can really literally save lives.
Dr. Mendez, thank you so
and
much.
as we always say,
Please.
if in doubt, check it out.
Wise words. On that note, we do need to call it a wrap for today's show. Thank you again to all of our loyal listeners out there in Radio Cayman Nation. Our guests from Pirates Week, Gimme Story, UCCI, and Baptist Health. On behalf of the entire Radio Cayman family, have a very happy Friday. Enjoy your Pirates Week weekend and your long weekend, and be safe.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.